Who wants to recap so Andrew has some grasp of what's happening? Nobody?
I'll give it a shot.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I could use a lot of help along the way. Let's go back a little bit. I think the last time Andrew was with us, we were still in the tower. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, when Krellick realized that Hamir had killed Yumi, he did not take to it well. Zashel thought fast and cast suggestion on him to get him out of the room. But that ended up with Krellick deciding that he needed some time to himself and did not want to join us on the Turtle Shell back to town. So we all went back to town. Krellick wandered around in the wilderness in the wrong direction at some point. There was some ugliness with some meanies that I just barely remember. But I think it was the next day or the day after that, one of those two, the party went back in the Turtle Shell to look for Krellick, found him. We all made peace around the sort of central idea that if we made enough money for Acquisitions Inc., right, then we could become so valuable to them that they would allow us to take out a contract on Hamir's head, and then killing Hamir for killing Yumi under those circumstances would be legal. So that is sort of how we coalesced to all be a franchise again.
It's such a wild concept.
It really is.
It's so bonkers.
It only works because we're playing a fantasy game.
I don't see how else it would work.
Our new what role is it? Obviator, I believe.
Correct.
Right. Came to the lighthouse to introduce herself. It is her name is Lauren Pelnath?
Penniless. But yeah,
Penniless.
just Lauren is fine.
Lauren's fine.
No one uses last name.
Okay. And she's been an intern with Acquisitions Inc. for some time. So she probably has more experience with the organization than any of us. She has been doing a lot of note-taking as we've been about town, and she's been with us, but they appear to be notes of a personal nature, not necessarily for the franchise or the head office. When we got into town, we found a dog with a human femur in its mouth. Yes, that's correct. We had the same reaction, followed it to a fish processing plant, and tried to do some investigation there. Really didn't turn up anything, right? And so we just sort of said, okay, well, we'll put on our list to investigate places where this human bone may have come from. So we may head up to the Temple of Procon at some point, which has a graveyard, and check that out. But we are currently waylaid from that task because there is a special guest in town that is being wheeled in some sort of wagon filled with seawater because they appear to be a merperson. And I believe that is where we left off last week.
Oh, you forgot we broke into Prime Water's basement.
Oh, yeah. Very important.
For the third time.
Right. Particularly for Andrew and I, right? These dum-dums, right, went and broke into Gellin Prime Water's, basement like you and I did weeks ago, right? But they were way less successful than you and I were. They found nothing, learned nothing, right, and had to come out with their tail between their legs. The only successful part of it is Vicaris cast Fly on Krellick, who proceeded to make a spectacle of himself while leaving a break-in situation.
I don't think that's successful, but
I think
That's the point.
okay.
well that intimidation check was very successful.
It's true.
And yeah, I think that's it. Thanks, Monkey, for reminding me of that.
You know, that was a whole 2 weeks recap, and it didn't even take that long.
Oof. I know you're throwing shade to someone who's not here, but damn.
That's why I'm not saying any names, because this is a
yeah.
recording.
Oh boy. Okay. Alright, gang. So, you have just witnessed a merperson being brought from the docks directly towards the council hall. There is still a couple of hours before the town meeting, where you've all been personally asked to attend. What would you like to do in the meantime, or should we just go right to it?
I'm ready to get right to it, unless someone else has something to do.
I don't think so.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Excellent. Alright, as the sun begins to lower over the hills to the west, there is an amassing crowd that is slowly filtering its way through the council hall into the back building, where you have the town hall, which is a structure that has been excavated, more or less. It is, in some fashion, it looks as if it at one point was a amphitheater, but has since been walled in. So the stage, per se, is at a lower level than the rest of the building, and there are seats and stairs and levels to this very quickly packed room. You are actually indicated by some guards to move to the lowest floor of the amphitheater, and are brought close enough to the stage where you actually can see all 5 of the council members. Actually, 4. Manistrad is not here. 4 of the council members, all seated on chairs behind a podium, and waiting for everyone to settle in. As the room fills, it becomes very warm. There's a lot of people, and there's a lot of whispering and a lot of murmuring that, as in such cramped quarters, becomes a din. And eventually, as it feels... unfortunately, no, this is not fancy in any means. In fact, there's a good, maybe 60 people here, at least. And so it is quickly overfilled. And once it feels like the room is beyond its capacity, there you see that there are people standing in aisles and against back walls. Anders stands up and addresses the crowd and takes a moment to try to steady himself, and addresses the whole room and says, "Thank you, everyone, for attending. We are glad that we have had some opportunity to handle a situation," and he starts getting a little sweaty and flustered and says, "Thank you, Acquisitions Incorporated, for your attendance here tonight, and also for your assistance in bringing to the attention of the Council of Saltmarsh the potential dangerous situation that the city now finds itself in a manner of speaking. As many of you might be aware, there was an incident a few weeks ago with some smuggled goods being traded and sold to a tribe of lizard folk out in the moors. And Acquisitions Incorporated was so kind to investigate and came back with some very important information. As such, the council has had time to to meditate on our relationships with other groups in the area, and as such, we have some particularly honored guests here in attendance with us tonight in regards to this self-same event that Acquisitions Incorporated has alerted us to. And he gestures backwards behind him, and from some of the corners of the room there are some side doors that are opened, and there is that merfolk who is carted out in her wagon so that everyone can see, and there is immediate whispers and sounds of awe at her appearance. Even though most people here, are fishermen and have been out at sea for some time, there is very little intersection between, or interaction, per se, between the merfolk and the folks of Saltmarsh in general. The hunting territories, if they overlap, would, cause problems. So, for many, this is evidently the first time they are seeing someone of this kind. Shortly followed behind her, to a much less enthusiastic response, are two lizard folk males, as you've been able to interpret them, with more dulled colors and slighter builds, but painted and draped in their degree of finery. And behind them is a little, by comparison, stout and lackluster personage who is, for all intents and purposes, appears to be a catfish that is walking on its hind fins as if it were feet and wobbling, and the little wet slap of its fins hitting the wooden floors as it waddles out to stand with the others. And Anders addresses the crowd and says, "Our honored guests are representing their respective tribes in what has become a council of war. There is speak of a threat of the Sahuagin on the western front on an island that was once in the possession of the lizard folk, and they have since been chased out. They are asking for assistance in reclaiming their land, and the merfolk and the Lochtha have already promised many numbers to them, and Saltmarsh has as well." And Gellin stands up and puts a hand on Anders' shoulder, and Anders nods and steps back, and Gellin says, "Thank you, Councilman Silmers. We appreciate your introduction. Hello, everyone. This has become a matter of state in many regards. We are fortunate that the Duke has offered us a small battalion that we are able to send out in assistance to the reclamation of these territories. And as we understand it, this territory stands on its own," and he turns towards one of the lizard folk, who nods. "This outpost that has been claimed appears to be one that is a testing facility of sorts. As it stands, the Sahuagin are very particular about their borders, and very rarely make such outposts so distant from their own territories. However, it would appear that this particular test is a direct threat and an excuse and experiment to try to see their level of influence that they can hold over a particular parcel of land and water without being so near their home. As such, we would like to, for everyone else's safety, naturally, our allies in the marshes and in the ocean, but for our own borders, we are eager to eradicate this threat. However, this is a challenging task. This is something that while I feel many members of the city are very capable of handling any sort of excavation, exploration, or analysis of, or infiltration of this fortress, it has come to our attention that Acquisitions Incorporated has proven themselves quite capable of such tasks. And as such, we have, as a council, agreed that we ask them, on behalf of Kyoland and on behalf of Saltmarsh, and all the other members of this war council, to be the first through. Understand what it is that we would be sending forces into, and assess the threat by their own metric, and perhaps lending assistance in any sort of siege that we might be able to lay based on the information they have collected. And he looks over at all of you expectantly.
Yo, he's looking at us.
I see that, Krellica. Well, listen, we would be honored to engage in further discussion about what is necessary and what is expected to both assess the threat and determine what, if any, action should be taken to mitigate it.
He grins and says, "Wonderful. That is the majority of the business that we had intended for the entirety of the town. However, one last parting word, naturally. As the autumnal season begins and we move into the colder months, we remind everyone to keep track of your young ones. Make sure everyone is indoors after dark. We don't need repeats of the past few years, as you understand. Protocols have already been set in place. Eleander will be posting bulletins, and members of the guard are certainly going to be patrolling in higher numbers as the seasons change to prevent any further incidences. I need not remind anyone of the threat that the Dreadwood poses to our borders, and our dear friends in the Silver Stand have done everything within their capabilities to mitigate it. But, well...
And Lauren is going to raise a hand with a question.
His eyebrow raises and he turns to you with a smile.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of new in town. What happens during the winter? What has been happening that you don't want repeated?
Edda lightly taps her foot from her seat behind Gellin and says, "Granny Nightshade, the creature of the Dark Woods, has been known to patrol and kidnap the youth that wander past the borders of the city."
You said Granny... I'm sorry, could you type the name?
Yes. She says so almost quietly, but she says it with a severity that carries over the audience, and there is noticeable disquiet at that.
Is this known fact or urban legend?
Why don't you roll me a history check?
I'll assist you with that.
I know that name. I have it in my notes, but there's something else.
It's an 8.
It's probably just an urban legend, but apparently it freaks everybody out pretty bad.
Krellic is not afraid.
Cool.
Gallon Prime Water's up on stage.
Uh-huh.
Can I make an insight check to see if he's giving us the eye or looking at us weird, since the bulk of us just broke into his house and were seen escaping it?
Yes. Yes, you can.
I'm going to use an inspiration since I just got one.
All right. He merely looks smug.
Bastard.
Oh my god, I've got so much.
What?
No, I know I have Granny Nightshade's name somewhere. I know I have it in my notes, but I have
I'm
so many
Frantically
fucking
flipping through my
notes.
notes too.
All right. While you guys flip through your notes, I have a question. Has Lauren ever, in her adventuring, ever met another merfolk or the person that looks like a catfish? Does she have any information on any of that, whether it was from being in the ocean or, with Acquisitions Inc.?
In the ocean, yes. Daggerford is a coastal town as well, but they would not have come that close to the coast. But prior to that, yes. Merfolk are typically they're hunter-gatherers, scavengers. Generally, their fights over they go to war over territory to protect their own borders, and but are not, what's the word, invasive. And Lakatha are fish folk who at one point used to be enslaved creatures, and have only more recently, within the past couple centuries more or less, have gained autonomy and freedom. They're pretty weird, pretty goofy.
Ah, okay.
Oh god, that's a fish. That's it, just a fish.
Yeah.
I am a fish.
Yeah.
I mean, Lokath are literally fish people.
Yeah, I
You're a
know.
Triton.
I consider myself a fish, same as a merfolk. We're fish.
I was actually quoting
Yeah.
the joke at crap guy into D&D races thing. It's just, Lokath is a fish. That's it, just a fish.
Yeah, they're just
They're-
fish.
There's a lot in that guide. I can't remember all of it. I can't quote it like you can. Congrats.
I literally watched it like 45 minutes ago. So that's why I can remember.
That makes more sense. I mean, I enjoy the content, but
I cannot find anything.
Check our chats, Ted.
That's what I've scrolled through. I went all the way up to Colette Olin was saved from a green hag, but they don't say whether that was the same green hag.
is there a search? Have you tried searching for the name?
No, that's searching. Who would do that?
I'm a millennial. I'm sorry. That's the first thing I try.
Oh, no. Neither Granny nor Nightshade shows up.
All right.
But I have her in my notes, and unfortunately,
She's-
literally the only note I have is Hag in the Dreadwood.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. The only additional thing
all
I've got
that you guys
is that,
have at this point.
right, is that she has other hags that work for her.
All right.
Interesting.
Yo, mob boss hags.
The council continues for a little while. The town meeting continues for a little while, and after some time, after each of the attending council people have spoken in some regard, namely given their more designated fields, the meeting is adjourned. Everyone is dismissed, and you are all free to go wherever you'd like.
About what time is it?
At this point, the sun is below the horizon, so it is dark. About
Oh.
8-ish, maybe.
I feel like corner is not the right word, but can we talk to one of the council members in terms of further details about what they want us to do exactly?
You asking that of me, or are you asking the party?
I guess I will ask the party, because if we want a contract, we got to talk to them, right?
Correct. We should definitely speak to them. The Duke that they mentioned who is committing his forces, or willing to commit forces to this island, is almost certainly the one tied up in the plans of the Scarlet Brotherhood. So this this all feels a little too connected.
Have I been debriefed about the Scarlet Brotherhood yet? I can't remember.
No, probably not. Actually, now that I think about it, but
All that you would know is what's come up in the Whisper Jar so far.
so quite a bit, yes.
So yeah, I will
Most of
ask
it.
some questions and clarify. We'll just hand wave that.
We should definitely try to get in on something because war's very good money.
I have a feeling that there is a reason that Gellin felt the need to call out that request in front of everyone instead of, waiting for us to speak to him or when we spoke to him at his office earlier today. It makes it harder for us to potentially refuse this contract. Basically, what I'm saying is we should consider that there may be some aspect of a trap here.
No, I absolutely agree, but it also makes it harder for him not to pay us adequately in said contract. I don't think it would look very good if, after announcing that he would like us to be the tip of the spear, and we said that we would be all too happy to do that it all fell apart because he wouldn't pay us.
Who do you
Fair
want to
enough.
talk to? Yeah?
So, shall we see whom from the council we can find at this late hour?
As this is a military endeavor, I expect that Eleander will be in charge of at least a little bit of the planning stages. Perhaps he would be the best one to speak to.
Well, let's go check his office before we, I guess, head to his home.
Definitely.
We could
If
also.
he's not here, go ahead, Carly.
Well, I was just saying, we could also talk to Prime Water.
Yes, actually, I was going to suggest the same thing. If Eleander is not here, Prime Water seems to be neck deep in this mess, so he might just be the better one to speak to.
I have a question. Should you be going to the council members' home if they're not here? Is
We've
that
spoken
normal?
with.
Well, he done it before, so it's perfectly normal.
Oh, okay. So
We have a somewhat deeper business connection with Eleander than some of the other council members. Excuse me. If only because the initial foray to the home of the lizard folk. Speaking of which, did I recognize either of those lizard folk?
Not by face per se, but by their appearance. They are clearly of the same tribe as the one you've encountered before.
It's not my man, Kebesca.
No, it's not.
do we know where the guests of honor all went? Because it feels like they just showed up to show their face and they didn't actually say anything.
That is pretty much what happened, as far as you were able to tell. They otherwise were brought back into the greater chambers of the council hall.
Maybe that's where we should just go then.
Yeah, maybe we should go to the council hall if it looks like they're there. Maybe we can meet them and they can tell us more details too.
Okay. Yeah, you can make your way back into the greater hall, where most of the council members are either gone already or clearly on their way out, and there are some guards. Eleander is actually remaining close by, as he speaks more languages than anyone else and has a better chance of translating. And is talking with with these other folks, this special guests. Who would you like to speak with, or do you just go up to the group?
You all go ahead. Give me a few moments. I'm going to perform a ritual real fast.
I tilt my head curiously before approaching Eleander and the group.
I would like to take 10 minutes to cast Comprehend Language.
All right, it's gonna be a minute. Yes, they hushed tones just grow silent as everyone approaches, and Eleander looks at all of you with a rather weary expression.
They were all speaking a different language?
Well, in a manner of speaking. A couple were speaking in Draconic, and then a couple others were not speaking.
Do I understand? Was I close enough to hear anything that they were saying?
It's of no consequence.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Isn't that easy?
It is.
Hello.
Hello. I saw you with the other members of Acquisitions Incorporated. Who might you be?
Oh, I'm Credit.
Hello.
Hello.
No, have you two never met before?
Maybe once, but
Oh my goodness, well, Eleander, this is Krellick. Krellick, this is Eleander.
pleasure to meet you.
What's Eleander's vibe? Like, what's the vibe he gives off?
He's a broad and tall gentleman in older and outdated military regalia, and he has a finely carved wooden peg leg.
Hell yeah. Looks like he, still has his wits about him.
Oh, absolutely. He looks like he's got that very time-wearied expression, but he still holds posture.
Yeah. I want to give him, a big warrior handshake.
Yeah, he'll meet you.
Alright, I want to start squeezing.
He doesn't squeeze back, but he doesn't give. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give him a nod of respect and back up.
I will give him and the rest of whoever is here a bow in greeting.
Yes, this is the newest member of our franchise. This is Lauren. This is Eleander, and I'll introduce whoever else I recognize.
Mm-hmm. The fish folk, the aquatic folk, bow in response to you, Lauren.
Cool. I'm not awkward.
Thank you all for agreeing.
That's the most awkward thing I've ever heard.
Right, yeah. Thank you all for agreeing to particulars of that of the request. There was a lot of back and forth on the presentation of quest and contracts. Eventually, most of us were too tired to keep fighting with.
I'm sorry. I don't think we technically agreed. We haven't signed a contract yet, right? And I kind of look at Yop.
Well, yes, and what we agreed to do was to discuss the particulars of a contract.
You did, and that was smart. As it happens, this has moved on to into Eleander's lap, or into Gellen's lap. Oh, geez, this has moved into Gellen's lap, and so you're going to have to be speaking with him for more details.
Wonderful.
I can help with some of the more tactical aspects, such as getting you to about the... And he speaks for a moment in Draconic to the lizard folk and say, to the old fortress. And these two here, Garat and Veth, they are determined to escort. But all other matters of this, as far as negotiations and contract go, that is in Gellen's hands.
Could I ask why he is in charge?
Oh. There's been some other... I've needed to take some rest the past few weeks, and I've been pushing myself a little harder than I would like to have been. And Gellen stepped up for the work, and he began throwing his weight around about who else was going to be involved in the project.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you get better soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So is Galen around this evening, or is he retired to his home?
I believe he's likely gone home.
Well, you know what it is, so.
It's only down the road.
I've been informed that it is okay for us to visit you in your home for discussion. Does that apply to Gellen as well? Mr. Primewater?
He takes a deep breath and thinks for a moment and says, you might have luck, but I wouldn't be surprised if the door is either not answered or he refuses to come to it.
I could open the door.
He looks at you and says, functionally, yes, you could.
I'm sorry. I know I'm new, but isn't it kind of unprofessional if you're in charge and you just leave right after the meeting? I mean, for him to do that while you're not in charge, but you stick around, it just feels like you're not running this, but you're doing much more work than he is. And
Well, I appreciate your concern. I am volunteering my home to our town guests. I am working on escorting them back to my estate.
And are the fish people and Merlady here?
Mm-hmm. They are right next to you, yeah.
I'm staring at that fish man.
Jesus Christ.
Both of his eyes are in different directions, but the one that is closest to you blinks.
Cool.
You're not saying anything, right?
I've just been staring at him.
He opens his mouth and burps.
I might need like 20 or 30 minutes to pull myself back together.
The description of I'm imagining this fish person.
Good.
Oh god.
Does anyone have any other questions? Anything they would like to say?
Well, I think this could work out very nicely in our favor. Shall we go visit Gellen Primewater?
Isn't Zashel doing? And she'll look back. Is Zashel still doing his ritual?
This conversation's only been a minute or two, so there's still a little bit of time left.
Should we wait for Zashel to finish what he's doing before we
Oh
leave?
well, certainly. I'm sorry I had to jump the gun. So, how are you people finding the lovely city of Saltmarsh?
The merfolk.
I will try an Aquan.
Oh. She starts in Broken Common, but then responds in Aquan. I've only been here for a few hours, but it is fascinating. Very busy here, very crowded. And the fish person just says, I've been here for a few days, and it is loud.
I say to the fish man.
His head slowly turns towards you, and the eyes blink. Yes?
How long can you hold your breath?
Underwater or above the air?
In the air.
Can breathe the air, but I can hold my breath.
Okay, how long?
I don't know. I have never needed to do this.
How long can you breathe water and air?
I will need to eventually go back to the water. In a couple of hours, I believe.
How big can you get?
This big, and he puts his arms out to the sides.
How big is that?
He's only like maybe 5 feet tall.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Krellick.
Hello,
Krellick, do not squeeze his hand.
my name is Sakith. And he puts out a fin.
Do not squeeze that fin, Krellick.
Can I get the spelling of that name?
Yeah.
I don't squeeze the fin. I shake the fin, but I don't squeeze the fin.
Cool. He does a little, he does the, like, he goes to shake your hand, but he just kind of slaps the palm and then slaps the back of your hand, you know, and then goes for a knuckles.
Sick. He's cool. I like it.
Anything else?
How long will you all be staying in town? Also in Aquan, since this is what we're all using apparently.
The merfolk says, I must be returning soon so that I can rally troops and await the ambush, the attack. It should be, we discussed, and she looks at Gellin and blinks, and then in common asks for a time frame, and I say Gellin? Eleander. Oh boy. And Eleander responds, our intention is to arrive a fortnight after you all return.
And have these people already posed a threat or made incursions upon your fine communities?
Oh yes. Yes, Sahaujan are violent and bloodthirsty. The smell of blood drives them into a frenzy, and they kill for the sake of killing and to sacrifice for their gods. They don't care whose blood is spilt, as long as there is blood spilt.
What more can you tell us about their warriors or their style of fighting that might prove useful in our exploration?
Well, they are manic and strong. They have many arms and are crafty martial fighters. And again, they are maybe not the most sensible, but their high priestesses, they command the waters and are very dangerous if they have their wits about them.
Sounds like we will have to be quite careful indeed as we investigate what they are doing on this island and how best to remove them from it.
All right. So sorry, Zashel, but now is about
No,
the time that
it's
you've
fine.
got your ritual done.
Zashel walks up, just straight up to everybody, like absolutely.
Okay, time to go.
Out of the ordinary. Apologies for the later arrival. I was just making sure that this could be. And he sort of looks at everybody and realizes he's the only one who probably couldn't speak this language. Yes. Anyway, so Iliander, the finer details of where we are going and what we are doing, are those through you or are those through Gellin?
Through Gellin. And these two, and he gestures to the lizard folk. This fortress used to be their home. They will be able to take you to it.
So when you say in a fortnight, you mean in a fortnight when these two return to their home, right? Not a fortnight after we do whatever investigation you send us to?
No, when you return with whatever information you're able to pass along, then we will be able to assign a substantial enough a number of troops and be able to organize with the others within the council. And he gestures to the aquatic folk here.
Okay, so out of character to clarify, yes, it is a fortnight after we return, right?
Yes.
I think that's... Did you have any other questions, Ashel?
Zashel will turn to the two lizard folk and speak to them in Draconic.
Mhm.
Good evening. Hopefully this... First off, allow me to send my best wishes to Queen Othicant. Hope all is going well in your lair back home. This island that used to be yours, the Sahaugen are building some sort of outpost in it. Can you, does one of you have the map of the area? And hopefully in addition to leading us there, you can sort of indicate where it might be on the map, and then we can see if there's anything we might be able to find here.
The one that was indicated as Vith reaches into his bag and pulls out a piece of paper that looks like it was probably taken from here, and like it's got like council stationery, and has the scratch marks of like finger painted ink of a very crude like coastline and marks of like here and there, basically. Yep. Yeah.
So basically they can point out on our map and be like, somewhere around here.
Pretty much.
Perfect.
We know the land better than paper.
Understandable. This is purely for us to consult more paper and hopefully see that we might be able to find anything recent. How long ago did the lizard folk lose control of this island?
A few winters.
By the way, he will introduce himself to the Merfolk representative, whose name I don't think we have so far.
Nope. She says her name is Erin. Anything else?
I suppose if all of the planning is being done with Gellin, we should wait until we're talking.
So Keith,
Yes.
you like drinking?
Drinking water?
No. You like getting drunk?
Drunking water?
No, have you ever had like an ale or, liquor?
Liquor?
Rum?
Krennic, did he just point at me?
Wait, did he? Did you just point at her?
The fins go to the side in a shrug.
You're asking the person that literally lives underwater nearly 100% of the time whether they've had ale.
Yeah, does he drink? Does this fish drink?
Not according to not by what he has said so far.
Yeah.
I'm more trying to figure out how the mechanics of that are supposed to work.
I know.
Look, that's not my job to figure out.
Would you want to try some?
He
No,
pats
Krennic,
his-
might I suggest this is something that we save for our inevitable victory party?
Inevitable victory, yes.
Yes, and then we will drink ale, yes? It's the customary
Yes.
celebration of our people.
Yes, we celebrate an inevitable victory.
Yap will reach out and gently grab a fin and raise it in the air and say,
Inevitable victory.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, well.
Ah! Anything else?
Well, shall we go stop by the Prime Water residence?
Iliander, is there some sort of planning session in the works, or should we simply call upon Prime Water directly?
He shakes his head and says, as I understand it, he's already got a contract prepared. But I would assume that he would keep that in his office. As I said, he doesn't take... Well, he's fond of after-hours company, but not on work business.
But I don't understand why he would leave right away if he wanted a contract with us. Should he not wait for us to come meet him here?
Hey, we'll just see him tomorrow. Can we get dinner? I'm very hungry.
Are we not wasting time? Is this not an urgent business? And
Well, it is
Lauren
late.
will kind of look around confused.
It is late, and I can't imagine that they are going to have us set sail after sundown rather than waiting till tomorrow. So,
Right, because if it was like urgent, then we'd already be going.
Well, I figured if it's urgent, we would figure out the contract tonight and set sail in the morning.
I mean, we can go to his house and I'll open the door.
Well, 1 second, Krennic. I think perhaps the best possible solution is we go to his house and he doesn't answer the door. And then we can just tell him, well, he can come meet us at the lighthouse tomorrow.
Iliander just rubs the bridge of his nose.
Yeah, look, whatever. I'm so hungry. Please, can we just go?
Well, Krellick, you can go grab some food and maybe Yop and I can go to see Mr. Primewater and leave a note if he won't answer us.
I will definitely, if we're going to see Prime Water this evening, which I don't know is the best plan, but if that is what we all decide, then
Well, one of two things seems to be the case here. Either this is a very important matter that must be resolved as quickly as possible, in which case we can go see him this evening and we are giving it the attention that it necessitates, or this can wait, in which case we will leave a note, and whenever Gellin Primewater decides to come out to the lighthouse, we'll be more than happy to discuss the contract with him.
I think that's a good idea. It would show we're serious about this job. If he's not ready, then we can leave a note. That shouldn't hurt. And then Lauren will turn to Kralik and say, perhaps you can go get us some food while we check out Primewater's house? And I will hand him 5 gold. Could you get me something from the area? I've never had food from around here before.
Oh, I know all the best spots. I don't know what it is, but I've just been hungry the last few minutes.
Of course. Get us a lot of food and we'll meet you back on the boat.
Okay.
So Keith blinks at you a few times as you leave.
I will give a bow before leaving.
Okay. You're leaving a message and then heading back, or are you trying to actually knock on the door?
We'll try to
or leave
knock.
it?
If he doesn't
Okay.
respond, then we'll leave a note.
Okay. You head down the road towards the Primewater estate. You knock on the door. There's many lights on still. You actually hear people inside. It sounds like quite a few people. But a servant comes to the door and tells you, and asks your business.
we are representatives of the Lighthouse franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated. Mr. Gellin Primewater, Councilman Gellin Primewater,
Oh, yeah.
requested our assistance with a matter, and we were coming by to work out the particulars of it.
Yes, he said if you were working on any public business of that nature, that you should wait until his public working hours tomorrow.
Understood. We were under the impression that this was a time-sensitive matter and that he may need to resolve these issues faster, but if Councilman Primewater is content to wait for resolution of contract issues, he can either... Well, we will try again tomorrow. Whether that be within his office or at the headquarters, the Lighthouse of Acquisitions Incorporated.
Should I tell him a preference?
Yep. Sonny, do we have a preference, or are we going to be in town tomorrow?
Oh, by all means, tell him to come out to the lighthouse.
I
Very well.
agree with Yop.
We would love to have him.
Very well.
She begins to shut the door.
Expected, but
Huh?
once the door is closed, Zashel looks at the other. Just says, "Not unexpected, but perhaps we shouldn't."
No, not unexpected at all, and I'd rather have the meeting occur on our home turf than his.
I mean, if he's... I'm sorry. I still find it rather unprofessional. If he's not ready to deal with business, he should come to us instead of us taking our time to see him. That's all I think. I have a question. Do you think it was a good idea to send Kralik for food? Because I was kind of worried he would cause a disturbance if he came with us. Am I reading that incorrectly?
Lucky snorts.
Not entirely, no.
Right. Okay. I just hope that didn't come off as too rude to send him off for food. But I do want to try some of the local cuisines. And
They're certainly edible.
So not very good. Should I be worried?
What? No, everything is perfectly fine. It's
You
not
said-
it's everything somebody would need.
You said edible, but not delicious or anything like that. Interesting. I guess we start our way back to the boat.
Yeah, does Krellick do anything weird before or after or during his errand?
No, 5 gold of the best late night street food that Saltmarsh has. There is an insane amount of food for everyone.
Yeah.
5 gold.
Yeah.
There is all variety of seafood.
Fried fish, yes.
Yeah. A lot of fried fish for some reason. The bigger, the better.
You know,
As you're walking down the pier, you see Sakith like surrounded by guards just staring at you.
I just give him a nod, like, what's up, my man?
Right? He doesn't
Offer him
say
food.
or do anything, he just blinks.
I mean, this is cheating, but offer him food. I see how he reacts.
I don't. I continue. Yeah, there's a wonderful smorgasbord of incredibly high quality food.
Cool. You get on the boat, and you get back home, and you eat, and do anything else before bed?
That's it for Yop.
No?
How good was the food?
Excellent. A very good, first meal, honestly.
Huh,
5 gold? Yeah.
I will make note of how the food was good and how Zastral seems to think it's only okay in
Mhm.
confusion. And question marks on what kind of food Zastral must like if this is not good.
Blood.
Oh my god.
It's blood.
What?
Look, we all know, man. It's okay.
Okay.
Still simply has no strong feelings about the cuisine here in Saltmarsh.
All right. Take a long rest. I don't think that's going to amount to much for you guys right now. And the next day, anyone doing anything out of their usual routine?
Not I.
I mean, I don't have a usual routine yet. I suppose I will wake up early and see what everyone does in the morning.
How early?
6?
Okay. So you'll probably see Zashel going outside. And to that, the first thing in the morning, Zashel, you see a boat being rowed up to the island with Gellin and a few folks ready to meet you guys. First thing. And he nods and smiles to you as he comes to the door.
As he does, the magic mouth that I have got inscribed at the door perks up and welcomes potential customer to the headquarters of the Acquisitions Incorporated Lighthouse franchise.
He smiles and points to where the sound is coming from and looks at you and just says, "Charming." And then goes to make himself comfortable in one of the armchairs and wait for business to begin.
Oh, I will acknowledge him as he enters, because I guess I'm sitting in the front area. having tea.
If
All
you
right.
will give me just a moment, Councilman Primewater, I will retrieve the other members of the franchise, and we can get started.
Excellent.
All I'm saying, Yop, is you did this to yourself. Is what Zashel whispers to himself as he goes and knocks on her door first.
Go away.
Yes, normally I would, but the councilman is here to work business. You
Oh my goodness, Dave, what a no, what a power move. I should have thought of that. I'll remember that for next time. I'm coming.
fantastic.
I think I'll offer him coffee or tea if he would like any.
He'll take some tea.
Is there anyone else with him, or is he just by himself?
There are a couple attendants with him.
I will also ask them if they would like coffee or tea in the morning.
Some decline, some take coffee.
All right, I will make the drinks and bring like a plate of. Do we have snacks? Do we have like cookies in here? I will search for cookies behind the bar.
No
Missy
cookies.
is probably awake. Yeah,
Missy is awake. Missy is awake, but she's getting breakfast ready. No cookies right now.
Nothing to go with coffee or tea. I will make a note of having to get some for that. I will bring them their drink.
I will get Dasani up. Dasani.
Andrew, are you there?
Dasani.
Not.
Andrew, are you there? Oh no!
Oh, has he been talking this whole time? Is that why we haven't heard him?
Oh no! Hey, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, we haven't heard you like all session. Is everything?
I'm here. I didn't know why I was unmuted and then it didn't work. I closed out.
Okay.
Hello. Who's there?
Hey, the councilman is here to discuss business, so we will definitely need the decisionist. If you can be ready shortly.
I'm on my way.
Excellent. And I will go get Krellick.
Krellick answers the door with like a sheet haphazardly wrapped around him.
Hair in a bun.
Wait, does Krellick even wear clothes, actually?
He has like a loinclothish kind of thing. There isn't anything there, right? So like neither Yop nor Krellick like need clothing.
That's
well,
why
I don't want to assume for Yop. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's why I'm curious
No,
about
you're
the
correct.
sheet.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
turtles.
like, why do you need a sheet if you don't need to wear clothes?
He was playing Roman Senate.
It wasn't a modesty sheet. Got it.
Yeah, it's not a modesty sheet. No.
Nah.
It's these little details. Cool.
The councilman Primewater is here. We will need everybody in attendance so that we can discuss business.
I adjust my sheet and go down.
Cool.
Business attire, Krellick.
Oh, am I down for business?
Yes, I was more thinking your appropriate armaments.
Oh, are we killing him right now?
No, but I do want to be able to stress the I do want to stress the martial ability of our team such that he remembers why he is hiring us in particular.
You want like a show?
A show of arms, correct.
Oh, gotcha. I will be right down.
I'm scared. Cool. All right, everyone in the lobby, and Galen having, made himself comfortable, just says from the armchair, I don't see any reason to make this more complicated than it needs to be. We have an escort that can take you out to the aforementioned fortress on the island, and once you've gotten a good enough understanding of the residents that have taken up there, perhaps even taken some steps to eliminate a few of them for everyone else's to relieve everyone else a little bit of some labor, then we can reward you. I've taken it upon myself to organize such a reward. I have a rather opportunely located building right near the docks that I've had very little use for recently. I figured that might serve as a decent enough reward. You could make good use of it. The building itself is easily worth $6,000. If this is something that this felt appropriate. After all, place out here, and he gestures to the lighthouse, is a little difficult to get to, is it not?
The facilities in which we are currently situated have served us fairly faithfully for the entirety of our time here, so we will, as we will be going into town, we can take a look at this building you are referring to, but I think I definitely speak for myself and perhaps for several of my colleagues here that we have settled in here fairly well. We have turned this building to our liking and comfort. We have made friends of the staff here and sort of built this as our home. Now then, if the structure is worth, as you say, then we can, of course, simply, assuming that the title, you are suggesting passing the title to us in full, that does obviously open up the avenue of sale, but in terms of saving everyone time and effort, and is this the only remunerations that you have considered, or is this simply the first?
This is what I'm willing to offer. And he smiles.
This is what you are willing to offer, or the council?
Well, it has been left to me to organize the finer details, such as the reward for the contract. This is a decision the council has made altogether.
I see.
I, on behalf of them.
I'm sorry. I believe we can get back to this later, but I am curious on more details of what exactly we need to do.
It's simple enough. It's merely an investigation, an assessment of the threat that the Saharajan pose and how difficult it would be to purge them of their current residence. We hardly ask you to eradicate all of them on your own. That feels like a task that, so few a number of you, I feel, could be capable of. Particularly, as I understand it, a good part of it is underwater, completely submerged. But once we have a fair enough idea,
Sorry, that's Ted laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
of
kind of
course.
looking around at the two water people, two turtles, and back at him.
but once you have collected enough data, some information about the structure of it, and the numbers within, you can return and could give you your reward.
Should we be avoiding confrontation in this scouting mission, or?
I feel as if for your own safety, it would be wise to avoid confrontation.
The particulars of the island, what can you tell us about it? Does it have a name? How far is it located from Saltmarsh? How long a journey? How much of the waters? What radius of the water around the island is patrolled by the Sahaugen? What would be our...
It's some 50 miles from here, and it is, as I understand it from what Eliander was able to communicate for me, that it is a wise path to go by land. The island itself has a stone path that leads from the mainland to the structure itself. It is a built, sort of excavated structure. Odd in its shape and appearance. It is very... It stands out. It wouldn't be hard to find, given if you were in the area, but it would take some days to get there. And the two lizard folk are more than happy to take you the most direct path. They say by land is wisest, as, again, entering the water is almost certainly a death sentence.
Okay, so you said we shouldn't be seen, possibly. But if we were, would that considered a compromise of the mission?
Well, I wouldn't say so. None of you all look particularly affiliated with Saltmarsh, nor any other members of the War Council and their tribes.
Okay. Lauren will make note just to make sure that what we can and can't do in terms of avoiding a contract.
So, just so I'm clear, this is less a contract negotiation and more an ultimatum.
He just puts his hand out, doesn't say anything.
You don't have a response to that?
You are welcome to interpret it as you would like, but I have ready a contract for you. And he produces one.
Right, and just by the fact that it is already written up means that you are not here to negotiate, certainly not in good faith. We showed up at the council hall yesterday afternoon. Plenty of time to inform us of your plans. But no, we were just told there was a very important announcement and we should definitely show up. And so we did. And then while we were there, it was announced to the entire city that the expectation was that we would be the tip of the spear.
Is this
So-
something that you are incapable of?
Capable or not isn't the question. The question is whether you are negotiating in good faith, and I do not believe you are. It makes me question what the true objective of having us be on this mission is.
I merely assumed that you would be capable enough of this work. And
You assumed that we would be capable, but you also assumed that there would be no negotiation, given that you have... It's a very shrewd plan, I admit. Sought to publicly announce us as the face of this, give us no room for negotiation within your contract, which, as you say, you've already written up. And now, if we were to simply determine that the value of the remunerations is insufficient for the requested course of action, that would, of course, then impact us negatively in the perceptions of the rest of Saltmarsh. Do I have your plan correct?
You are welcome to make any assumptions about me or my intentions that you like. I am here on behalf of the council, and this is the offer I have for you. The residence worth 6,000 gold for the aforementioned task.
See, I feel like my problem with this is you've announced that we'll be taking this job and assume we'll be taking this job, but you didn't quite bother to stay after the meeting to even meet with us, and you come here giving us this contract you've already written up with no plans of giving us any negotiations.
I
You're
like to
making
keep
quite a lot
business
of
within business hours.
I'm sorry. I know I'm new here, but from my other franchise, we've always been able to negotiate contracts, not just take what is given at us. We are also a company that is for hired. We could be on other contracts. There's no guarantee we will be taking this, and yet you made such a big deal of announcing that we would be. I think that's a bit presumptuous of you, don't you think?
Again, make any assumptions about me that you would like.
Maybe we just read the contract because we need the job. Right? Because we need to do the jobs, yeah?
Do we? I'll look around. Are you guys that short on jobs that this is the only option?
I will hold out my hand for the contract.
He will give it to you.
Zashel will pour through it as best he can.
Okay. Do you have any special stuff that gives you any bonuses, advantage, or anything?
I think just my lore master thing. Or lore master. Documancer.
Is it the legalese one, or is it the cipher one?
Yes, is the answer to that.
I am going to lean over Zashel's shoulder and read over it and give him guidance.
Gift of words, okay. Alright. Make an
Not entirely the one I was thinking of, but go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Yeah, just an intelligence check with advantage and guidance.
In addition to proficiencies noted below, you can add your proficiency bonus to an ability check to organize lore, analyze official or arcane documents. Analyze official documents is the one I was looking for. Convey a legally binding point of view. It's the position proficiency for Documancer, which is not apparently the same as Gift of Words.
Yes, okay. So it's an int check with proficiency and guidance.
Okay. Guidance check. I'm just going to do an intelligence check, but my proficiency bonus is currently 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you said advantage, yes?
No,
proficiency.
Yep.
So that is a 20.
Yep. Want to roll guidance?
Oh, I thought it included it. So that is a 21.
Okay. All right. Just scanning over it. There isn't any words that give you any phrasings that give you pause. This looks pretty straightforward. The expectation is for you to get a full enough, like more or less geographical analysis of the fortress itself and the creatures inside of it. It gives you leniency to defend yourself as violently as necessary, and on your on return to Saltmarsh and receiving your report back, you will be paid. You will be gifted the deed to the building, which is again valued at 6,000 gold.
Zasher, might I make a small suggested change, or propose that we ask for a suggested change? Namely, if we have no intention of keeping the building, we should just ask them to sell it and make the price of the contract 6,000 gold. On the other hand, if we think we might want to keep the building, I think we should ask them to pay the 10% franchise fee in addition to giving us the building, so that we're not out that gold if we decide to keep it.
That is I think, reasonable modification. I would, before we even agree to signing, prefer to see the building ourselves. We're going to have to head into town anyway, I assume, to gather supplies and everything we need and gather the gather Gerert and Vith for our trip. Speak with Sakith and Aaron one more time in case there is anything else they want to tell us about this place.
So it sounds like we want to see the building first before contemplating renegotiating. Is that correct?
Before we agree to this, that is my suggested course of action. We can... I'm assuming, Councilman Primewater, that you have your regular council business to attend to today, in which case we can find you in your office if we agree to this deal, and that will give us a chance to what's the word I'm looking for? Appraise the building ourselves. But I think if you have nothing further, we will be happy to find you within Saltmarsh itself.
He nods.
Out of character, is he gonna give us the address, or is someone gonna lead us to the building?
I assume
You'll-
the address is in the contract.
Yeah.
And you have access to poke around inside the building?
He'll let you look at it. Let you look it over.
Okay. I will wait for him to leave before I say anything else.
Tell me, Councilman Primewater, the results of our... If we were to take this contract, the results of our findings, what... you mentioned, or perhaps it was Councilman Solmner who mentioned the combined efforts of the Merfolk, the Lakatha, and I believe you mentioned one of the Dukes of Seaton. Do I have that correct?
Yes, Merrick Feldrin. Duke Feldrin, yes.
Is that the name of the Duke that I have?
Should be.
Okay.
Should be.
Oh, I wrote it down. The efforts of those three groups would be to presumably take and hold the island, remove it from Salhagan control, and what? Use it as a staging ground, or is it simply to deny the asset to the enemy's forces?
Well, as far as Saltmarsh is concerned, it is to deny the asset, but we intend on turning the land back over to the displaced lizard folk.
Very generous of you.
Is that something you find me suspicious of?
No, I meant that sincerely. That is very generous to pull together a coalition of our forces, those of several other allied races. It will go a long way to strengthen relations between not just Saltmarsh and the lizard folk in the aftermath of the deal that, as you said, or as rather Councilman Councilman Sumner said, the efforts with which this franchise assisted in one of our earliest missions. But it also strengthens relations between Saltmarsh and the other aquatic races here, and between those races and the lizard.
I agree.
So then, if there is nothing further to negotiate or decide, we will be happy to find you within your office at the council hall. We will, of course, need to discuss, come to a final decision here ourselves, and we can find you there after we have reviewed the potential offer.
Naturally. Take your time. If you need a few days to consider it, I'll understand. And I don't think it would bring any harm if it takes more than a few hours to come to any sort of conclusions. And he begins to stand up, and he says, the only fear that we naturally have is the off chance the Sahaujan are able to in some way intercept any sort of information or communication between any of the tribes aligned in the War Council. But I fear, well, I do not fear that this is a true threat.
Can I anticipate that?
Yeah, sure. I anticipate that anyone who might be passing through as messengers will be able to do so smoothly and without interference.
I feel like I don't trust him, and that he's going to be the one leaking information.
He sounds confident. It doesn't sound there's not really an ulterior motive, it sounds like. There's not really anything that he personally gains from this.
That we know of yet, alright.
I don't think having a bloodthirsty race of four-armed fishmen nearby is good for his business, so I can see him being genuinely interested in getting rid of them. That is all Ted saying that. Zasha will say that as soon as Gellin leaves.
Very well, I will be speaking with you shortly. And he and his escort leave.
I escort them out.
Cool.
I'll stand at the door and watch them leave.
Okay.
You know what I wanted to say to him? I wanted to say, like, hey, you should get a bigger door, because we was in his basement and all that.
Hey, do you think there might be something suspicious about that warehouse he's trying to give us? That he's not
why.
Much.
Yeah, that's sort of why I wanted to review the building before we agreed to the contract outright.
I will look to Lucky. Do you think if we go there, you would remember if you've been there or not?
I should.
Cool. Sounds like a plan, right?
So
Yeah, I
is we
think-
getting paid in a building?
Well, I think Yop has it correct. If they're going to force us to go through the hassle of finding a seller or a buyer for this building so that we can have more liquid assets, it's best if they cover the... What is our tithe? 10%? 20%?
10.
10%. So that would be 600 gold plus any other remuneration. So
I don't see any problem with that, or them just selling the building and paying us money, but I do want to investigate the building itself.
Right. I mean, if
Agreed.
they're saying the building is worth 6,000 gold, then
It
why not
may
just sell the
genuinely be a
building and
nice-
give us 6,000 gold?
it sounded as though they were suggesting it might be an easier place of business. They do have a point that having to come out here to get to Acquisitions Incorporated is a cost that not everyone is going to be able or willing to pay. I mean, it's, an hour between town and here, so...
Oh, yeah, but I mean, we really fixed up the place here.
True. And if they really wanted, could they not just visit the council hall and leave a message? Because we seem to do work with them often enough.
Yes, but for anyone outside of the council, that is a burden that is being placed on the council itself. Again, I'm not suggesting we move here.
Right, and it might, if the building is nice enough, it might very well be worth it for us to maintain an office in town, rent out the rest of the space of the building, or run a different business out of it to make even more money.
Wait a
Ooh.
minute.
These are
Lucky could run her business out of it.
Yeah.
That might not be the greatest idea, given the...
It'd be
not
bigger
tie-
space, so there'd be more people, would be more money.
Yes, but we do need to be careful what other things we tie directly to Acquisitions resources, simply for, shall we say, plausible deniability reasons.
Are
For
there
now-
any- oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sarah, are there any casinos in Saltmarsh?
Not in as formal of a sense. Like, gambling isn't necessarily considered, isn't specifically illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if we set up a gambling house, is that
Yeah.
an illegal act in the city?
No.
I mean, it's not illegal what he's doing.
I'm aware. But
Let's get into the city and look at the building first, and then we can make decisions.
yes,
Also,
it's also more of a... If Lucky you were to move your endeavors into official Acquisitions Incorporated buildings, because keep in mind the building would be going to Acquisitions Incorporated, not us specifically, the percentage that they would request would almost certainly increase.
Ugh.
yeah,
I
but
figured that
Lucky,
might
we
be
be making like a lot more money, so
I have a question. So gambling is not illegal in this universe, but do we know if there's like shady connotations related to gambling and gambling houses and how people do questionable business there? Or is that
I mean,
not-
in the same way that prostitution isn't specifically illegal, it's still in that vein of like it is still like considered dangerous work because bad things can happen because you are gambling. Like you can lose everything, that kind of deal. But it's not like because of that, it's not illegal, and gambling houses don't not exist. There's just there's not a gambling house in Saltmarsh.
there's no like, hey, it's a scandalous thing because shady people go there and trade and do bad stuff, right?
Right. Like if you go to the Mariners Guild Hall, people are openly like playing cards and shit. Like
It's not a thieves' den. It's not a thieves' den.
Okay. So it's more like a Las Vegas casino versus a shady gambling house. It's not that connotation. Got it.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, think about it, right? We'd cornered the market here. I think my head hurts.
I think my head hurts.
For now, we should see if this structure is even something that we would consider keeping. If not, I agree that we should put the burden on the council to simply sell the building and have the proceeds as our fee for this particular contract.
All right, let's go look at it before we get into even more discussions about a building we haven't seen yet.
Exactly.
And then we'll make our way to the turtle shell.
Oh, I have one more thing before we actually get on the boat. Boat got haunted last night.
I'm sorry?
What?
Boat got haunted last night. So I was, sleeping on the boat, and a ghost showed up, and tried to kick my ass.
Did you invite it in?
No, it just it woke me up. It was awful. But it went away. Boat got haunted last night.
Yeah, but you said it went away.
Yeah, but boat got haunted last night, and I don't really know what to do about that.
Well,
Lucky.
I mean,
I think you's haunted.
no, ghosts are very much real. I'm trying to figure out if this should be top priority, if we should stay on the boat tonight to check it out, or if we're doing this contract. And if we're going on land, we won't be using the boat for a bit. So
the boat can go over land.
Oh, are we taking the boat over land?
I don't know. I mean, that's an option. Although it is fairly loud when it does, and so I cannot imagine that would be conducive to our stealth reconnaissance mission.
And we're going over marshes. But it's more comfortable. I mean, I don't care either way. Except, like I said, ghost?
Okay.
Show me where the ghost was.
Well,
I will exercise it with my magic.
If we're taking the boat on land, then we will all be there tonight, and we can try to handle it then. If not, then perhaps when we get back, if we are taking this contract. If it is still on the boat now, then we will find out. And Lauren will continue making her way to the boat.
Okay.
Lucky will show to you, Krellick, where it showed up below deck, in one of the quarters that she has been functional using as a bedroom. And said, I heard the door open, and it showed up right here, and it tried to go through me, which was really weird. It had it had a sword, which hurt. But I'm fine now. Everything's okay, technically, except the boat's haunted.
Whoa, a ghost with a sword.
Yeah, a ghost with a sword.
Why did the ghost have to open the door?
I was asleep.
You invited it in.
I was asleep.
What? Maybe it needs to open the door so it could bring its physical sword through.
Okay.
What?
It had a
cleanse
sword.
the space.
Was this like a ghostly sword or like a regular sword?
Well, it felt like a real sword, but it didn't leave any marks, so I guess it wasn't a real sword. I don't know anything about that shit, okay? I do boats and water. Like, that's my realm of expertise.
Okay, and I don't understand why it opened the door either.
I don't know. Probably to wake me up, to freak me out. I don't know.
It can
Okay.
go through walls?
You know what? Ultimately, I don't think this is something we can do anything about right now. So we will all be on the boat. If this thing shows up while we are going into town, we are all here to deal with it.
Cool.
All right.
Can you?
We're all gonna die.
Sorry, can I investigate the boat for any dead bodies or anything that might haunt this boat?
Absolutely. Roll investigation.
All right, I will put on my glasses and use the thing that gives me advantage on investigation checks. Yep.
All right.
Come
I sort of
on,
feel
give
like
me a
that
go.
We would know if there was a dead body
Nope.
on our boat.
I
No
did
dead
really bad.
bodies. No dead
Can't find
bodies, no spilled blood.
I'm gonna cleanse the space by summoning the ghost,
Yeah.
so that I can hit it in its face.
Yeah.
I withdraw a small rock-looking object, and I say,
Rocco, bring me a ghost.
Oh my god.
I love that it's bring me a ghost, not bring me the ghost.
Never has Rocco's instructions been clear enough to actually be helpful. Give me 1 second.
He's gonna find some kid in a fucking ghost costume.
a little ghost mask? That'd be cool.
He's gonna. I mean, let's say he succeeds. He brings you a ghost. It could be a ghost from anywhere.
Like I said, we're gonna die.
Okay, we're gonna take our 10-minute break.
While Sarah goes find a ghost. Yep, got it.
Pretty much. We're gonna take our 10-minute break while I figure out what the fuck to have.
Oh, I've got it. I just gotta make sure I've got it right. So what happens when Rocco vanishes and reappears? He has that femur bone in his jaws, and he drops it. And as it clatters to the floor, to the wooden the wooden floor of the deck, a spectral figure of black mist begins to coalesce and take on a skeletal expression with a tricorn hat with an ostentatious feather and torn pirate, a torn like sailing coat, and we're gonna roll initiative.
Good boy.
Did you just make Ghost Roderick?
Whoops.
You're good, man.
I'm coming.
Oh. We're good. Okay, gang. That looks like everybody, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, Yop, you are first.
Okay. Betty, get up here. Betty will make her way, weave her way over there. I will step up. I don't know how this is going to work with a ghost.
That is a magic trident, right?
It is.
Alright, well then it works. better than you would expect for a ghost. One hand or two handed?
One-handed. Those are both one-handed.
All right, cool.
And then I don't know any better, so oops.
An 11 will miss.
And that is my turn.
Okay. Zashel, you are next.
Oh man, I do not want to be right next to this thing. But also, I will look at Krellick and just shake my head, and then turn to the ghost. Realize that we have been brought the bone from yesterday. Look at the ghost and say, if you need to hire us for any vengeance purposes, please make an appointment, and I will take the disengage action. And I'm going to just back up.
Remember, half movement on boats.
Good call. And that's it.
All right. Krellick, you're up.
Does this does this ghost does this ghost have a sword?
It would appear to have a cutlass at its side.
Seems to meet all the criteria I need. I would like to attempt to reach for the ghost's cutlass.
Excellent. Cool.
Yeah. I will flex real impressively, still wearing all my war paint, and try. I'll go into a smoldering rage and try to get a ghost sword.
Okay. Make me an athletics check.
Sure. Is it all? Is it all athletics checks? Yeah, strength checks. Yes.
While raging, yes.
Yeah. So 22.
Okay. You have a loose grip on a misty form of a dagger or of the blade, like in its scabbard, but it doesn't come free. In fact, you kind of just jerk this guy along, like closer to you, actually, when you do.
Yeah, he's a ghost.
Yeah.
I struggle with it for a bit, and then I just punch this ghost in the face.
Cool.
Oh
no!
I don't. Hey, don't forget we're all blessed because we're on the boat.
Oh yeah, yep, on a boat.
That's my turn.
Okay, Dasani, you are next.
All right, yes. How you said something about distance on this boat? We can only a half distance moving.
You're fine.
Okay, that's just for somebody else. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's for me because I don't have proficiency with water vehicles.
Oh, got it. That makes sense. Okay, well, I'm gonna move forward. And I'm going to hit this bad bitch with some frostbite.
Okay. I'm going to move you a little bit so you're not clipping through the walls.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's some walls on this boat.
A 10.
Okay. Con save. It's a fail and takes. All right. Cool. A lot of the ice and frost that you launch at it just kind of pierces past and through the specter. It still has some effect, but it does not look as effective.
Right.
Okay.
What's the secondary on frostbite? Doesn't it
Reduce
do
movement.
something? I thought that was Ray of Frost.
Oh wait.
Frostbite
think
is
you're right.
disadvantage, cutting, vicious mockery. Where
Disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah. Yep. On the next one. Yep. Cool.
I don't think I've ever used that spell.
I don't think I have either. Monkey.
All right. Well, I guess run up to this ghost. ducking between Kralik and Yop. Excuse me.
Oh, you gotta go the other way. This
I
is the
can't
path.
go this way.
Yeah. But you can still. Ooh, do you have enough movement for that? You cannot get to that spot.
Okay, where's the closest I can get to then?
I mean, if you get to right here, you'll still have line of sight.
Alright, I guess. What can I do? That changes everything I was gonna do. I got nothing. I will dodge. I'll just dodge.
Okay. Aren't you a cleric?
I have cleric spells that attack that thing. Yep. Nope.
Alright.
I mean, I could, but people are just gonna attack it anyway, so.
Alright, it's its turn, and a spectral skeletal hand will reach out and just lightly prick Kralik, and I need Kralik to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming a 23 hits.
A 23 absolutely hits.
And that's a disadvantage.
Okay. I'll roll again at disadvantage. Yep.
So no. You're not at disadvantage. The 23 was at its attack at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's still the 11.
Yes. Cool. All right. You take 20 necrotic damage.
Oof.
And your hit point maximum is reduced by 20 as well.
Oof.
It's halved for you as raging for 10.
Yeah, for 10.
And then Lucky comes in, comes back around the corner through the door. And pulls from her scabbard an empty hilt, which fills with water, then turns to ice, and then she is going to attack. She's going to attack the ghost the best she can. Okay, a natural 20 is absolutely obscene. Okay, and then Yop, it's your turn.
Get off of our boat!
17 and 23 will hit.
These are all one-handed.
All right. So 3. All right. Cool.
That's it.
23 is gonna hit for 3. All right. Zashel.
I will go ahead and start with a Sacred Flame on the ghost.
It saves.
That's a shame.
That
is a max damage roll.
Yeah, that's really good. Oh, that's sad.
All right, well, I will spend my bonus action to just die a little inside. No, that's... I'm going to 5, 10, 15, move over to this side. Just so that I'm behind. Nope, that's hard then.
You're still behind the wall back here. You're good. Kralik.
I am kind of shove this ghost away from me, and I will pull out the great axe as I want to try to cleave a ghost in two. I'm gonna recklessly, Great Weapon Master, attack this thing.
Okay.
23 to hit.
Yes.
For 15. I'll try to slice out and try to cut it in half. 20. Yep, that's gonna hit. For another 15. 17. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, with 2 slashes, enough of its mist dissipates that it begins to just drift apart with a little, with a low echoing breath of disappointment.
And my attacks are non-magic, if that means anything.
It does, but enough damage has been done. And it dies, technically. Doesn't die. Does not die, but...
Does the ghost sword remain?
No.
I've exorcised this place.
Lucky looks at you as her sword melts into water, and she just says, I did that last night, and it still showed back up.
Yeah, but I did it right this time.
Fingers
So,
crossed.
it was ghosts last night?
It looked same ghost.
I expect he'll be back then. But for now...
Well, if it comes back, we just cut it up, and then it will go away.
Maybe we should talking to it.
I mean,
maybe it just wants to find peace.
we might have to provide that for it without its say-so. I don't think it's going to be... I mean, we can try. We can certainly try. But this is the second time we've seen this particular bone. Zasher will pick up the femur. So, I admittedly am not exceedingly familiar with the nature of these spirits, but I think if we can figure out, where this came from, perhaps we can put the spirit to rest without having to risk another encounter.
Well, when we get to town, we should check the graveyard.
You get to town.
What graveyard?
Up near the Temple of Procon at the top of the map, there's a graveyard behind it.
Oh, how hard is Krellick looking?
I look great.
All right. It looks like he needs healing. He said so himself. Got it.
I technically don't look like I need healing.
Yeah. Okay, gang. What do you want to do first? You want to check out the house?
Yeah, let's investigate this building, and then I guess, depending on what that looks like, we can decide what we want to discuss with Gellin.
Yeah, he said the house was near the docks, I believe, so...
Yes.
Yeah. So, you can, you have the address, so you go and find the address, and outside the door is some... on the porch is an attendant who immediately recognizes all of you and allows you inside. And I'm just going to drop you on the map of the location so you can inspect it. The top floor here we got, I said top floor. This is the ground floor. This right here, oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Right here. Front door, some stairs going up, some stairs going down. You're free to inspect. Then we've got the second floor, and then the basement down here.
Oh my god.
So it's not a very big place.
No, it's not. It doesn't look like much from the outside either, but it looks in good repair. It's just a little on the small side.
Yeah, right, so we could do like, the lobby is here, right, and then you can go downstairs to gamble.
My head, and I'll start looking around.
I guess the real question to us is how valuable is it to have a location in town? If that seems worth it, then perhaps taking this as payment would be a wise idea. However, if that seems like it's not such a good idea, or not that important, then perhaps asking Gellin just to sell the property to pay us the gold would be the way to go. Personally, I like the idea of having an office in town. I think it might increase the amount of work that we get.
That is
True.
true. But this place is a lot smaller than I would expect. Why is this place so expensive?
I mean, it's a
It's
resident
proper-
at the docks.
Uh, 6,000 for a house is not very much, actually.
Uh,
How's the neighborhood?
Well, it's
Are
on
there
the docks.
schools nearby?
So it's a little on the noisy side. The neighborhood is, but as far as education, well, go work on the docks, I guess.
for some reason, I thought it was more like a storage facility than an actual house.
So we'll have to do private schooling then.
It's what everyone else does around here.
I'll go look around the basement.
Cool. You wanna? Are you doing anything special while you're looking?
I'm just opening stuff, just rooting around, you know?
Cool. You can make an investigation check if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. It's a 5.
Ooh, cool. There is some basic storage stuff which seems to have like it really nothing of interest, like spools of rope and other like some rigging stuff, but nothing you wouldn't expect to see here at a house up at the docks.
Yeah. I take the rope.
Cool. It's cursed.
Attendant with us while we're looking around?
Huh?
Is the attendant that was outside with us while we look around?
They're just sitting on the porch waiting for you. But you
Then
can go and get them.
Oh no, I do not want them to overhear. I will look at Loki and ask, does this place look familiar to her?
I've seen the outside, but not the inside. And this isn't a drop zone or anything. That's what you're
All right.
asking.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Can I kind of look around? I want to see if there's anything obvious that would make this building, that would make him like be so willing to get rid of this building. Is the building in really does it look fine, but it's really in kind of shoddy shape? Are the materials not great? Is there some sort of like
Make an
hidden
investigation check.
cache of 17.
Everything about it seems perfectly ordinary. There's maybe some squeaky steps, but it is boring.
Upstairs is bedroom.
In theory, yeah.
I'll just investigate, search around up there, see if there's anything that looks out of the ordinary or
Okay,
just
cool.
out of place up here.
All right, investigation. The desk is empty. The bookshelves have nothing on it. The wardrobe is empty. The mattress looks new. Looks great.
Is that that's the top floor?
That's the basement.
Oh, he just went in there. Okay.
Sorry, I'm gonna move things just a little bit because they're a little off scale.
My image keeps blurring in and out.
It's probably because I'm fucking with it a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's like the whole thing, and I think it's just the roll 20 is kind of glitching.
Oh yeah, you might have to refresh
Yeah,
that. That should
refresh.
fix it.
So
What do you guys
This
do?
is just a normal house or cottage type thing. That's it.
Feels like it.
Yeah, we buying the place or what?
I mean, that's up to the rest of you. I don't have any particular interest in this.
Well, I would vote that we take this this structure as payment, just so long as the contract stipulates that the council and the city will pay Acquisitions Inc. the 10% that we will owe them.
I second that.
I think you technically first it, Decisionist.
That's your right, madame. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
I guess.
Sweet.
Okay, so I was thinking we get rid of that bedroom, bro, because no one's sleeping here.
I mean, it could be used as simply temporary housing for if somebody is required to stay in town or something like that. But we can work out the specifics of how we want to utilize the space another time. For now, we should go speak to Yellen. At least a few of us should go speak to Yellen and make sure there are no last-minute changes to the plan, sign the contract, try to get the modification that Yop you suggested, and then we can gear up and meet up with Vith and Gerart. And I suppose we should begin our journey as soon as possible.
Well, after the graveyard.
Yes, we should definitely try to figure out what that's all about. But honestly, we can't really afford to waste too much time on it once the contract is signed. We should get to the actual paying matter at hand. If we're leaving the turtle shell here for a little while, then we don't have to worry about anyone getting into trouble with that ghost.
In that case, why don't we head to the graveyard first? Then we won't be under contract.
I mean, yes, that's obviously the bigger issue is simply the time. We can't afford to spend too much time on this ghost issue, even without having signed the contract, simply because the longer we wait, the more the Sahuagin are able to establish their beachhead on that island. So
it's not going to take too long, is it? We find a ghost, or we kill it again, and then that's it.
Sure.
I don't think it's quite that easy, Krellick. Lucky already said she killed it once. I don't think just killing it is how we solve our problems.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Lucky's a ghost killer. Now I'm a ghost killer. We killed 2 ghosts.
The same ghost that came back.
Maybe.
Also,
I mean, she recognized the ghost.
how exactly do you plan to find the rest of the body?
Dig?
Through every single grave.
I mean,
Just disturb people's grave. That's
Perhaps if
maybe.
we find somebody, we might speak with Edda, which will of course mean going to the council hall, but she, of anyone here, would if anybody is going to know about a Saltmarsh resident, she would perhaps be our best bet. If we can describe this ghost to her, she may be able to point us in the right direction.
Okay,
Or I
let's
suppose we
go.
can go to the archive building, but that still relies on somebody having seen the ghost in the flesh.
Well, can one of you use magic yourselves? Like, make a magic of it?
Of what, the ghost?
Mm.
I am afraid that is outside the realm of my magical influence.
Don't think you quite understand how magic works, Krellick.
I do not. It is a mystery.
Yes, magic
Yeah, we
doesn't
went and talked
work
to the to the horned lady, and there was a really confusing conversation about what magic is and what magic isn't, and Krellick doesn't know shit.
Krellick knows many things, just that
Yes,
magic is not one of them.
That's not entirely true. We know that Krellick has the magic to summon and speak with animals, so...
Well, I can summon a ghost when I need
He just
to,
does.
okay?
He just does that. He can just talk to animals.
I mean, no, we've seen him do the magic portions. Regardless, let's head to the temple. Perhaps the priest, high priest, head priest, whatever that person will be called, can answer some questions about this ghost. Or
Maybe
this
one of
bone.
you can draw it.
I mean, I have paper and a quill, but I'm not much of an artist.
Okay, you guys head to the temple. You guys have been here before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we were at the temple when we saw someone going into the house where Zolek is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So you pass through the under the arch with and the door with the golden trident painted on it is partially open. There are a couple people here praying at the altar and leaving offerings, and then there is I believe he did get introduced. Welgar Brinehanded, the head priest technically, in position, not necessarily by name, and he approaches you and asks what you need of him. What do you need?
We recently find ourselves with a haunted boat. It would seem that a ghost tied to perhaps this femur that was brought to us by a stray animal might have something to do with it. And I will describe the ghost. You know, tricorner hat. I'm not sure if any of this is at all meaningful to you. Ripped pirate coat.
Well, we've not had any disturbed graves, which is promising for us, but not promising for you. I would assume that this artifact would belong to someone who needs to be put to rest. That makes the most sense. Naturally. However, seeing as we don't have any disturbed graves, that means the rest of its body isn't here, and we can't just replace this bone and then you'll be on your way. It might be best that you either serve offering to Prakan or in other fashions work on a dedication of some kind, a hallowing of the grounds, in order to accomplish your goal, in order to clear the spirit. Otherwise, you're stuck finding the corpse and putting all the body parts back together.
Would you happen to have the material components for that ceremony that I could purchase from you?
If you'd only like to purchase the materials yourself, that is something I can provide to you, yes?
Wait, can ceremony even do that? The ceremony's for
Ceremony, you need the whole body to put it to rest. It sounds like we have to do a hollow, which is a much higher level spell, correct? Or am I missing something?
Yeah.
No, yeah, there's nothing in ceremony that'll do it, so never mind. Don't need that.
That's why he's like, you gotta find the whole body, then you can do ceremony.
Well, I don't suppose that individual makes any. You have no recollection of this person?
Unfortunately.
Anyone else?
Well, if we can't find a body here, then I don't know. Maybe what do you like? Do bone magic?
I am afraid that is outside of my purview, Krella.
Do you? I'm sorry. Do you know any way we could help us locate the rest of the body?
Unlikely. As it happens more often than not, fellows like yourselves, I find myself paying money to find lost bodies and bring them back. I'm not something I'm equipped for myself.
Do you know anyone who could perform the necessary ceremony to rid the ghost from our ship?
Well, I certainly could. It would cost you 1,000 gold pieces to do it, though.
Well, that certainly sounds like an option. I don't know that we have the time now. How long would something like that take for you to accomplish?
A whole day and a night.
Well, do you think it's safe to leave the ship here, unattended, while we handle this matter for the city and have our friend take care of it when we return?
I mean, I suppose as long as no one is on the boat, it will be.
Do we need the boat
relatively safe
to get there?
Well, according to Mr. Primewater, it is recommended we travel on land with the lizard folk.
Well, I mean, like, are we leaving here on land, or do we need to go somewhere on the boat and then get on the land?
All by land.
Maybe, just let Toby and Michael take care of it.
Do you mean like fighting the ghost every day, or?
They've been training very hard.
I mean, it's just gonna return every day. Could they just stay at home?
Well, then they train.
Well,
honestly, I don't know that I would trust even us to have to fight that thing every day. So, perhaps we can speak to Dockmaster so that he's aware that there is a potential threat on the boat. I think, honestly, if we take the femur with us, perhaps that will pull him away from the boat.
We should
and
leave it
to us?
Well,
Attack us every night.
If that ghost is going to appear and attack someone every night, who are we safe leaving it to attack?
Yeah, maybe we leave a note for it in the boat and say, hey, we's going to stay here, we be back.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, Miles just knocked a lamp over. Good.
Do you think we should go back and talk to the dogs? And maybe ask his other dog friend if they knew where the bone came from?
Certainly worth a try, I suppose.
Did you not do that last session?
No, I only talked to the dog and to the fishing thing, and I didn't talk to its friends. Because I assume its friend was a human when I talked to the humans inside. I never talked to additional dogs there. Unless you did.
I did not.
Okay, so we go talk to the dogs, and then we leave a note for the ghost, and then we go.
Sounds good.
No, we're not leaving a note for the ghost.
There's no harm in leaving a note for the ghost.
Suppose, but are we not bringing it with us?
I mean, theoretically, maybe. I see no harm in leaving a note for the ghost, even if we're taking the bone with us.
Alright, sure, I guess.
I mean, cover all our bases. Why not?
There's one more possibility. If we trust Toby and Micah to handle the situation for one night, we could pay the priest here right now and have him start the ceremony immediately. In 24 hours, the problem should be resolved.
We do have the funds in the hoard to pay for that.
Is that a necessary expense? What do you think? And I'll look to Dasani.
I think it's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, I don't love sailing on a haunted boat. I've sailed on a blessed and lucky boat my whole life. Haunted boat's kind of the opposite direction I want to be going.
Alright,
So it's settled.
okay, I guess, I think more people are in favor of paying the priest to get rid of the ghost, so I guess we're doing that?
Well, Dishonored said it, so we's doing it.
Kralik, do you understand how Dasani's position works?
Yeah, he says it.
That's not how it works, but if Dasani, Yop, and Lucky all thinks we should, then that does make a majority of the vote. And well, I don't have the money, so you guys can go pay the priest.
Yeah, I do not have that money.
The turtle shell is a franchise asset. It makes sense to pay for its consecration out of the franchise funds. So,
okay, let's pay the man.
Okay, yes, but whoever has the funds can go pay it. That's all I mean.
that would normally be Vicaris, but let's see here.
Okay.
Well, is it something that you'd be comfortable undertaking, and do you have time to begin immediately?
I could, yes.
Will Vicaris pay the man?
That is done. And he'll go down to the docks to take care of that for you. And it is mid-morning. So it takes, 24 hours, so you'll not have access to the boat for 24 hours.
It's fine. We're gonna leave on foot today anyways, right?
depending on what we arrange with Gellin Primewater, I believe that is the plan.
All right, shall we go?
Yes.
To the council hall, to Gellin, and he says, "And, took you so little time to consider my offer?"
We've reviewed the structure. We do have a few potential alterations to the contract if you are amenable. Beyond that, we are prepared to gather supplies and leave today for this island. Assuming we can, of course, come to a proper agreement.
Let's see if we shall. What is it that you would, what alterations do you think need to be made?
I believe there is simply the matter of the what is the word that Ted is looking for here? Tithe? No, not tithe. The cut. Because we are not receiving liquid assets, I believe for the first time actually on a contract from the council, it puts us in a position where we are hoping the council would consider covering the because of the nature of the franchise remunerations and the contract remunerations, rather than this task either necessitating considerable time spent to liquidate the assets with which you are awarding us. The contract fee, which would go to our head office, is a fraction of the funds that you would be, or the value of the item in which you would be rewarding us. This is essentially due to the non-liquid nature of our reward. We were wondering if the council would consider covering that cost in addition. Beyond that, the structure itself seems sound. And as far as I can tell, despite the what's the word for unreimbursed expenses, we are simply about to go incur for purchase of our own supplies for this trip. This would represent a second financial loss for us in the immediate term. On acceptance of this contract, we, of course, will end up paying taxes on the property to the town of Saltmarsh. So, in the end, that remunerative fee that we would be requesting for the council to consider would be recompensed through those property value taxes.
Make a persuasion check.
Huh. I think I'll take the 24.
You sure you don't want 24 instead?
He says, "I'll tell you what. The Primewater estate will handle this suggested addition. This percentage that you're speaking of And any assistance you might need, materials that you might require before you head out, I will personally see to it that you are accommodated.
I think just the percentage will be sufficient. I thank you for the offer for the supplies, but that is something that we will see to ourselves.
Very well. It sounds like we have a deal.
I have here an edited version of the contract. I will print one out from my documenter case. If you will sign here, Dasani, as the franchise decisionist, I need you to sign here, and I will sign here as witness.
Righteous. He signs.
Ellen signs.
Yep. Watch the drip from your. Okay. Well, that's a spot. I'll have to get that out later. That's fine. All right then. Could you? I understand that the representatives from the other nations are staying at the Primewater Estate, to include the lizard folk escorts.
That is correct.
Okay. I suppose then that we will gather supplies and make our way there to prepare.
All right. What supplies do you all need? Rations?
How long is the journey?
It's 50 miles, so give or take day and a half. 2 days and a half. Sorry, 2.5 days.
I have old rations. I'll buy 5 new rations.
Cool. 1 second.
I actually currently have no rations, so...
I also need more rations.
Are there a bunch of rations in Betty?
Oh, do you know where? Wait, no.
There are not.
Okay.
Yeah, there are none.
I didn't know if, like, for some reason, at one point somebody bought, like, hey guys, we got food.
Okay, I'm back. Okay. Okay. What do you guys need?
Rations, apparently.
Yeah, I've got 0 rations, so beyond that, I think we're...
All right, you can head up to
How
Winston's.
much rope did I steal?
That's a good question. How much rope did you steal?
I mean, I don't know exactly how much was there. But I mean, if it was like a ship-sized spool of rope, like, I'm not taking the whole thing.
Right.
But if it's like 200 feet of rope, you know, like, I'll take some rope.
I'll give you two coils of 50 feet of rope. How about that?
Bingo. Heck yeah. Ooh, okay. I'll get grappling hook. Right? Grappling hook. I will also purchase how many people are in our group?
6.
6 altogether?
We'll also have the 2 lizard folk, but I'm confident that they can...
It would be 7 and then the 2 lizard folk.
Oh, yeah. Lucky.
Right. I actually remembered Lucky, forgot about Makaris.
Oh.
Sorry, Doug.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'll suggest to everyone, if we're trying to be prepared, that those who need it should think about a climber's kit that we could store in Betty should we need one. But they're 25 gold apiece, so I do not buy them for everyone.
What do we need them for?
Well, you never know. I mean, I can climb pretty good, but, some people, they ain't so good. So you strap it up, and then, I can throw you off a cliff.
Isn't it supposed to be, like, sort of underwater?
I don't know.
Yes. It is. I think we can forego the climber kit. But you know what?
It's a good idea in the future.
It's actually not a bad idea just in general, but that sort of thing does seem like something that Betty could store for us.
Is that
fairly.
something we each need one of, or could we not share a kit? I'm not quite.
Well, I mean, you can't tie, like, all of us together in a big bowl.
Is it not?
I would like 4 climbing kits, please.
Did you grapple it to something and there's a rope and you use that rope to help you climb up? Not
Well,
tie
the
to
the kit also includes things like the spikes for your shoes and things like that. So one kit is not going to be sufficient for.
Yeah,
as
it's a
many
whole
of
like
us as
harness
there are.
apparatus thing. Yeah.
Regardless, I'm not sure that it's going to be the most pertinent to this particular mission.
I
Lucky
just
you
bought 4
have-
climbing kits and put them in Betty.
Okay. Lucky you have all the supplies you will need to potentially get us home.
I'll have to stop at the captain's, but I can get that. Yeah, I can get a couple sets too, just in case. If we needed to, we could like come back, go back. It'd be a whole thing, but I could do it.
What do you mean,
uh,
captains.
Zendros.
Oh. I mean, we're here in Saltmarsh, so. And she's on the way to Eleander's. Well, not really on the way, but, she's between Eleander's and us, so we can stop by there. I actually would like to get some spell components myself.
All right, cool. Anything else anyone needs from the general store?
Do they have powdered silver?
You can get that at a Zendros.
I shall wait until we get.
Cool. All right. You go there, get some spell components. Is there anything else that you guys need there?
I mean, I don't need any other equipment. I mean, it's we're going underwater, maybe. You never know.
Definitely.
We have food, we have water. Like all of our lighting is situated, so I think we're all good.
Krellick, is your war paint waterproof?
Probably not.
Is that something that we should get resolved, or will you be alright?
I can just put some blood on it. It's fine.
Fantastic.
All right. And then to Eleander's to pick up your escort. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Zendros first, and then Eleander.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Anything that anyone needs to get at Zendros is beside.
Does she have any cool shit in stock?
Maybe she does. Here we go. Let's see. There you go. Stuff to look at.
Man, I wish I wasn't completely broke. Yeah, I was gonna say Arcane Gate. That's a hell of a spell.
My God, can you imagine? Psychic armor. I'll be resistant to everything.
Sorry?
Just the remark of if I wore the hide armor, I could still pick whatever AC is higher, and then be resistant to all damage in the game. But I don't have any money. So.
Also, I don't think you can put armor on as a turtle.
You can. I just happen to have natural armor.
I thought part of the turtle shell, like, racial thing was that you can't put it on. You can't put on armor.
I'll look at it. Let's see. You gain no benefit from wearing armor, but I think the magic would still work.
Oh, yeah.
Magic a benefit of the armor though, because it's magic armor, or just no AC benefit?
I mean, its intention in that ruling is like, I mean, it could be argued either way, right? The mechanical intention is when it refers to armor is armor in the game, which is ACs. But I don't know if I mean, it'd be Sarah's choice, really. The way it's worded, she could decide either way.
Anyway.
Not that we're about to drop 4,000 gold, so...
Yeah.
Is anybody buying anything or doing anything?
I'm just going to
I
pick
think
up
we're good,
the powdered silver for ceremony, and that's it.
Same.
Cool.
We are going to accomplish this task. When we get back, Krellick is going to sell the house that we just got and use that $6,000 to buy this armor.
Well,
I've made a great investment.
she has. I've got a new thing. I've got a new system where her shop swaps stock every week. So if you want her to hold on to something, you have to tell her, and you have to put down a down payment.
I mean, I don't have any cash. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have any cash, so...
I mean, I don't...
Down payment for a helm also already.
I mean, I did, which is why I don't really have a lot of cash.
You gotta pay off first.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you would want down. You know what I mean? I asked her how much she wants down for the armor.
It's at least 50 gold.
I give her 50 gold.
Cool.
Are we ready to go, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Just one more moment.
And I admire the armor and then leave.
get out. You're freaking me out.
Always nice to see you.
Pleasure doing business. Please come again soon. Okay, then you head out to Firebrand's, and he's actually he is with the dragon. Sorry, the lizard folk, and home. And he asks if there's anything that you need before you set out, and if everything was handled well with Gellin.
Well enough, I suppose. We've spoken of our somewhat mutual mistrust of the man, so him taking full control and even responsibility for the expenses of this is concerning. I don't necessarily trust that everything is on the up and up, but I can't really see what he has to necessarily gain this, so. As for supplies, I think we've stocked up on our way over here, but...
All right. I wish you all the best of luck.
Do you know anything about this island? Have you ever been there?
He shakes his head.
It is farther out west than I have found myself.
Is the island named at all on any maps, or is it simply just an island?
The lizard folk have only called it the first home.
Anything else? Cool.
I'm ready to go.
All right. The lizard folk collect their belongings and their packs and such, and you all head out west through the main gates of the city and towards the moors. And